Hello, this is D, and I'm back with another video. And today we're going to take a look at Alan Wake 2 running on PC. We're going to go through the settings and we're going to go through a good portion of the first part of the game. Now, this game is very demanding, so it is going to be very interesting to see how this game runs on my RTX 4090 maxed out. Now, we do have some reports of the console performance, and I have to say I am quite surprised on what the consoles are doing with this game. Now, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, they have a 1080p upscaled mode, so I believe it's from an internal resolution of 842p up to 1080p, giving you 60 FPS, and they have an internal resolution of 1200p, something around those lines, upscaled to 4K. Now, it looks pretty good. I would say that the upscaled 4K image does look better than the 1080p one. The 1080p one tends to be a little bit more aliased, but I gotta say it does give you 60 FPS. So this game is very demanding on PC hardware, so it's good to see it up and running and in such a good state on the console. Now, when you look at the console image, I gotta say that overall it is a good looking game on both the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Yes, the Xbox Series S, it takes a bit of a hit in the image quality, but that is the budget system, and just the fact that they got it running on that system is pretty amazing. Now, the Xbox Series X has mesh shaders and the PlayStation 5 has primitive shaders, and I'm really surprised that the image quality seems to be neck and neck. Now, I would assume that the mesh shaders on the Xbox Series X would give Microsoft an advantage, but it doesn't really look like it in this game. Now, this is one of the first games that we're seeing using mesh shaders, so perhaps as developers get more aligned with the software, then maybe we'll see more of a divide. But I gotta say, as of right now, the PlayStation 5's primitive shaders are handling this game fine. I'm sure some people are going to do some deep dives into it to see if there is some difference, but on the surface, looking at both copies, I really can't see a difference. Now, the Xbox Series X does tend to have a higher frame rate, or I should say a more stable frame rate, but both of them have a stable frame rate. So the Xbox Series X is just performing a little bit better in the frame rate scenario, but they're both holding their 60 FPS target quite well. So that's pretty much it for the console stuff. I really want today to show you this game running on PC. Now, today we're going to run this game with all the bells and whistles. We're going to turn path tracing on. The ray tracing is going to be fully maxed out. We're going to run it with DLSS quality, or probably performance mode, so we can get a stable 60 FPS. Now, you can turn frame generation on in this game and achieve a higher than 60 FPS target, but it's not really going to show over this video. I'd have to take an off-screen capture of it for you guys really to see how smooth it is. Now, I'd rather not use frame generation if I don't have to. I'd rather use DLSS or a native resolution. Now, in this game's case, it's very demanding, so I'm definitely going to have to be using DLSS, and that just goes to show you that even an RTX 4090 needs to use DLSS with ray tracing in order to achieve 60 FPS and above in this game. So I pretty much talked enough about this game. Let's just go through the settings here. Now, as you can see, we're running this at 4K. We're running it with the balance mode, and we're running DLSS. VSync is on just for the capture purposes. I could turn it off, but it's not going to be a real pleasant experience for you guys watching it at home. But it does go over 60 FPS. We can achieve up to 70, 80 FPS depending on the scene. I would say that roughly in like the high demanding areas that we get about 58 to 60 FPS on average. Now, we've turned off motion blur and film grain as well. You can see everything is maxed out: texture resolution, texture filtering, volumetric lighting, volumetric spotlight quality, global illumination quality, shadow filtering. Shadow detail is on medium. We're gonna switch this up to high because we want to see how this game looks all maxed out. Screen space ambient occlusion is turned off because we're using ray tracing. So as you can see here, everything is turned up. DLSS ray reconstruction is on, so we can get a very sharp ray trace looking image, and it actually gives us a little bit of a performance boost. We got direct lighting turned on, and path trace indirect lighting, we have it maxed out at high, and transparencies are at high. So everything is maxed out here. We're gonna start a new game on normal, and I'm not really going to talk too much during the game, only parts where I feel, you know, the graphics are very demanding, so I might stop it at that point just to look at the graphics and just discuss it a little bit. For the most part, we're just gonna enjoy this gameplay. I'll come at the end of the video and give you guys my impression. So just sit back and relax and enjoy path tracing of Alan Wake 2. It's maxed out on PC. You're not going to get a better looking image, and I don't think you're going to get a better looking game this year. I think this is one of the top games ever made, at least for graphics, and it's getting rave reviews on Metacritic. So we're going to play through it today and see if it's worth the hype.
Back to the beginning. We all come to a story with hopes and expectations, looking for an answer. Sometimes it would be better to live with that hope without ever knowing the full story. In a horror story, there are only victims and monsters. And the trick is not to end up as either. But trapped by the genre, we are all ripped to pieces along the way. This is not the story I hoped it would be. This is not the ending I wanted. This story will eat us alive. This story is a monster. And monsters wear many faces.
Now, I'll probably take this opportunity just to talk a little bit about the game. The forest is very dense, as you can see. The draw distance is really good, and look at the atmospheric fog. It is so dense. You got the trees swaying up there. Now, I'm gonna warn you guys that this is not for the squeamish, so it is going to be gory. This is a horror game, after all, so viewer discretion is advised. Well, it's definitely a masterpiece of a game. Look at the foliage here. Look how dense it is. And we're getting pretty good performance. We're holding 60 FPS. I do know that we're probably going to get a few drops, because this game is extremely demanding. And remember, we're running this with DLSS in the performance mode. So, oh, jump scare. Another jump scare. There we go. But as I was saying, it's running DLSS performance. And honestly, you'd be hard pressed to see the difference on a native 4K screen. It's very clean and clear, and we're running path tracing, ray tracing, everything is turned up, and we're holding a pretty solid 60 FPS. Now, I locked it for capture purposes. It can go higher. It can go to the 70s and the 80s depending on the scene, but like I said, for capture purposes, it's just better to have a locked 60. Oh, another jump scare. Here we go. It's very detailed. Okay. Can we fight these guys? Guess not.
Where's the rest of the stuff? I need to finish this. What the fuck?
Gotta love the production value for sure. That's a real good opening.
Hey, kiddo. How are you?
I'm good, Mom. How are you?
This trip might take a little longer than I thought. I'm sorry I've been gone so much lately, Logan.
Oh my god, Mom, it's not your fault people get all murdery. What happened?
Just work stuff.
Right. Well, Dad and I are just watching the latest episode of Night Springs here. Mom, it's so good.
No spoilers! I'll let you get back to the show. You were supposed to wait and watch with me.
It's an extremely dense forest, and look at the fog in the distance.
Work trips, Mom. Love you too. And say
I know
hi
this
to
is
the
kind of
girls
like a
from
cinematic, but it's in engine, so I can't wait to explore this game.
Bye, kiddo.
And this game's going to look fantastic in HDR. I'll probably have an HDR capture of the game later on this weekend.
Logan thinks you should try cheering up.
Snarky kid. Wonder where she gets that from.
Every time I look at him, I just see Max Payne. And if you played the old Max Payne games, you know what I'm talking about.
It can't be a coincidence that another body turns up just as we arrive in town. Feels like the killer's leaving us a message.
I'm glad you're on this case with me, Anderson. It's right up your alley. You should take lead. Think of me as the backup.
Okay. Any words of advice?
Nothing that would cheer anyone up. Here we are, Cauldron Lake.
Time to get to work. A deputy was supposed to be here to show us to the crime scene. There's the car, so where's the deputy?
Eaten by a bear? I'll check out that map.
So as you can see, we're dropping into the mid 50s. It's holding pretty close to 60 FPS, but I'm going to assume that the reason why we're having these issues here is because of the density of this forest. There's a lot of foliage here, a lot of trees. So this is probably a good stress test for the game. I would assume when we're more into the city and other parts that aren't so densely populated with trees and shrubs, that would probably hold 60 FPS pretty close.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that, ma'am. I'm Deputy Mulligan. I just figured that, you know, that, Federal agents right here, Thornton. My partner, Thornton, down at the crime scene. He's not what you call the sharpest axe in the shed.
Right here? What do you mean? Are they with you? Oh, shit! They didn't hear me, did they?
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, a couple out-of-towners. I wonder what they were doing sneaking around the woods at night.
Mention the city folk. It's pretty suspicious.
Not that we have anything against city folk, cried Thornton. But don't worry. Sheriff Breaker took him back to town a while ago.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple. Just through the hole in the fence, down the hill towards the lake, around the old convenience store. You can't miss it. Everything's been closed since the area was fenced off. The store, the campground, all of it.
Mulligan, tell them I'm here, waiting. I'll show them around.
They got it, Thornton.
Now I gotta say, this has got to be the most detailed hair I've ever seen in a game. Let's see if we
get to the crime scene,
can
there's time
get
to
over here in the
review
light.
facts of
You
the
can
case
see
so
her
far.
hair. Look at that.
Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly.
That is so detailed. Good stuff, man. And the lighting and the indirect lighting. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is something to be seen. Path tracing is very demanding though, because look, I have to run DLSS in the performance mode in order to achieve 4K 60 FPS.
Of the case.
But at the same time, it is pretty amazing that we can do this.
The Mind Place. My version of the Mind Palace technique. To sift through clues and work the case. Building the Mind Place again for each case. Using each field office as a model in my head. The facts are on the board. Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down a hill to the crime scene. Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Mm-hmm. Real funny, Anderson.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old. Fucking nature. Gives me a headache. There's too much sky.
Not a bad place to get murdered.
If getting back to nature is your thing.
Damn. Should have brought an umbrella.
I like the rain. The only thing around here that feels like home.
You think the local law had the sense to put up a tarp?
If they did, next coffee's on me.
How much clearer can I make it, Mulligan? Hey!
Deputy Thornton, I take it.
That's me, at your service, ready to get this case solved. Now the body's behind the store. Come on, I'll show you. So, FBI, huh? That's so cool. Hunting down psycho serial killers and shootouts with the mob.
You forgot the UFO cover-ups.
What? Those are real? You guys hiring?
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that is pretty detailed.
This is the scene of the crime. We found him on the table. Or he didn't touch
Yeah,
it.
this is gonna be one of these rated R videos. Jeez.
Thanks, Deputy.
No tarp. You owe me a coffee.
But look at the lighting
Let's
in this
start by
game.
examining
Oh
out
my
Mr. Holmes.
gosh.
Does this fit the MO of the previous murders? Body is positioned on the table. Ritualistic.
So I kind of like this mind place thing. You kind of go through the clues and you
Another body turned
paste
up
it
just
together.
as we arrive in town. Coincidence? The killer left the heart right next to the body. Inside stab wound, chest cut open, heart removed. Bruising on the wrist from the cargo straps holding him down. Heart removed from chest, strapped by the wrists. Definitely matches the previous murders. But this time the heart and the straps were left behind. More clues to work with. This makes 4 murders that we know about. Who is our victim? Who killed him? Need to find more clues. Large amount of blood on the table. The victim died here. Multiple people were here. Multiple killers? Someone left in a hurry. Knocked the tripod over. Was it for a camera? Someone was drinking beer. They spent time here, waiting. prints, indicating multiple killers. Quite the party. Any idea who the victim is?
Oh, I sure do. His name is Nightingale. He was FBI. He came to town about 13 years ago. I haven't heard a word about him since. Well, until now.
Nightingale? Robert Nightingale?
Oh, yes. You probably knew him. Brothers in arms. Oh, and sisters.
So you knew our victim?
Well, I didn't recognize him in his current state. But yeah, I ran into him a few times at Quantico. Never worked any cases together. After his partner got killed in the field, he went off the deep end. Got the boot pretty quick after that.
Nightingale went missing 13 years ago, 2010.
The same as all the other victims.
Certainly fits the pattern. Makes me wonder what was going on that year.
Probably something this town wants to forget.
So what happened to Nightingale after the Bureau let him go?
I only know the rumors. Depression led to booze, booze led to paranoia. He got some wild ideas in his head, chased ghosts until he fell off the map. Guess he ended up here.
I bet there's more to that story.
But no happy ending.
Robert Nightingale, ex-FBI, came to Bright Falls 13 years ago. They planned for the murder to happen here, passing the time with equipment ready. They were waiting for him. But why Nightingale? He's been missing for 13 years. Why here? Why now? Profiling. Get into the subject's head. See what they saw. Feel what they felt. Use whatever I know about them to guide my intuition to a revelation. Piece it together. Agent Nightingale has been MIA for 13 years. How did he end up here?
Up from the lake that's not a lake. It's dark. He was there too. You are not allowed in the lake until he says otherwise.
Robert Nightingale came from the lake, before his murder. Nightingale was chosen as the victim. Why?
Flick the switch. It goes click. Lights are off. But somebody's home. Somebody's home.
This wasn't some random act of violence. This was a ritual. A Nightingale a component. They didn't see him as a person. More like a container for something. Nightingale was chosen as the victim. Why?
Up from the lake that's not a lake. It's dark. He was there too. You are not allowed in the lake until he says otherwise.
The lake is connected to Nightingale somehow. Casey, let's take a look down by the lake. Lead the way.
Sounds good. This way, right?
Right.
Okay, well, I'll just wait here.
Well, so far I am enjoying the way this game is playing out. I like how you use that place, I think it's called the mind space, to put together your clues and to figure stuff out and progress.
Did something happen at the lake?
I think Nightingale came up from that direction. From the lake. Probably looking for shelter. Safety. They were waiting for him.
When you're ready, I'd love to hear what you put together so far.
Sure. It's not that complicated. Nightingale was out in the woods alone at night, possibly nude. The killers knew he was here, ambushed him, dragged him to the campgrounds, strapped him to the table, cut his heart out. But then they were interrupted by those witnesses, the Bookers. The job is unfinished.
That seems pretty complicated to me. What was this guy doing skinny dipping at this time of year?
Haven't figured that part out yet.
Lots of questions.
Lots of answers for us to find.
I will say we have entered a new era of graphics because this is jaw-dropping, man. Look how the light, look at that light coming into the room. Do you see those streaks there? And this is accurate. Path tracing makes a big difference. Like ray tracing makes a huge difference in games, but path tracing, that's another level. And once again, like, you know, we're holding pretty close to 60 with everything maxed out. And of course, you know, I have a VRR screen, so you're playing this on VRR, you don't even notice any of the drops. It's nice and smooth. And I do believe this is probably one of the most demanding parts in the game because they have a lot of stuff to render here. And when you see the performance on PC, you have to admire what the consoles are doing. They're doing a great job with this game, man. The fact that they can get it at 60 FPS is fantastic. And for those that don't care about frame rate, you got that 1440p mode. Yes, it's upscaled, or well, it's actually a 4K mode. Yes, it's upscaled from like 1200 something p, but you know, it's still resolving a good image.
Kid's lunchbox? An Alex Casey movie lunchbox. Casey hates the endless jokes about coincidentally having the same name as a fake detective. He hates those cheesy crime books, but he really hates them.
I should probably get out of here. Yeah, as I was saying, like, you gotta really commend what the Series X and PlayStation 5 are doing with this game. It's demanding for sure. And the image quality that's resolving is great. Yeah, it's using like a combination of low, medium settings, but they look really good.
I didn't know trees got that big. Gives me the creeps.
You need to get out more. It is kind of creepy, though. There's a piece of paper on the ground. Tracks. Barefoot. Nightingales? They come out from under the boulder.
It makes no sense.
A page full of text on one side. Not a printout. Written with a typewriter. Old school. Lines scratched out and edits added with a pen.
Like a manuscript. Page of a story. Killer left a message.
It's for us. The text is about us. The victim was one of their own. FBI Special Agent Robert Nightingale. And then there was the page they found. The first step down into terrifying depths.
Reading
the
the
words.
words This felt like a message.
Felt like a message.
Someone knew they were here. Someone playing a game with them. An invitation. How could they not accept? Even if they knew it would end up hurting them.
Someone's been watching us.
Playing a sick game with us.
You were right. This is right up my alley. Nightingale came this way. Either he dropped this page, or the killers left it for us. I should profile Nightingale about this page. We found a page in the woods. A story about these events. What is Nightingale's role in this?
I carry his words close to my chest now. Inside, the awful truth. You must dig it out.
Something was put inside him. In his chest. I must find out what.
Up from the lake that's...
I'll be back in a second.
Roger.
They left a lot of garbage. Not the fastidious type. I think he came from the lake. But his tracks make no sense. Found all I can here. Time to properly examine the body. See what I can find inside. Finding a Casey movie lunchbox out here can't be a coincidence. Another message. Casey, I think something's been put inside Nightingale's body. Let's tell the deputies to get the body to the town morgue.
Okay.
Deputy, I want the body taken back to town for a proper examination ASAP.
Well, sure, but the coroner won't be back in town for another week after Deerfest.
Not a problem. I'll do it myself.
Oh, and Sheriff Breaker called to say he's got the bookers at the Oh Dear Diner in town. Oh, and I've got a key to the gate. It's a shortcut back to the parking lot just up the hill.
Thanks. Let's get the car, drive to Bright Falls, and talk to these witnesses, the bookers.
At the diner, right? I could use a cup of coffee.
Let's try that shortcut the deputy mentioned.
Sounds good.
I think I saw something. It'll only take a minute.
I'll wait here.
Hello, this is Agent Anderson and Agent Casey, FBI. We'd like to come in and ask a few questions pertaining to an investigation. Nice talking to you, too.
So yeah, my impressions is that this game is beautiful. I like the storytelling. I like the detective work that you're doing in the mind space there. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, it seems really slow. This is going to be a heavy story-driven game. It's obviously action and horror, but they want you involved, or I should say invested into the characters and into the story, and you have to build that up. So it will ramp up for sure, because we've all seen the trailers. So there's going to be a lot of action. There's going to be a lot of scares. But right now, we're getting into the story. So I'll probably play for a little bit more, and then maybe I might skip ahead to some action scenes, and then I'll probably end out the video, and I'll come back with my
We
thoughts.
should go for a hike if we get a chance.
Now you're just being mean, Anderson.
Deputies aren't exactly up to the task, but hopefully the sheriff will be more helpful.
Not a surprise about the deputies. Doubt they see much stuff this gruesome.
Can't fit the clues all together yet. Heart removed, tripod, tracks leading to a dead end.
A tripod for a camera? To record a snuff film?
Maybe. And why take out his heart just to throw it away?
To stuff in something for us to find.
I'll look around. See you in a bit.
Take your time.
Here we are. Let's drive back to town and meet the sheriff at the diner. I can't get that manuscript page out of my head. I've never seen killers reach out so directly before.
Damn impressive work so far. With your technique, these hunches were moving fast.
I wasn't sure about taking a case so far from home, but I'm thrilled to be here for this mystery. Need to swing by the lodge to get anything from the field office?
No, I'm all set.
I'll park there anyway. I want to walk to the diner, get a feel for the town.
Now here's where we can really judge the performance of the game.
The diner's just up the waterfront. Shouldn't keep the sheriff and our witnesses waiting.
I smell coffee.
As we're out of the forest, and as I thought, yeah, we're holding a locked pretty much 60 FPS. And I'm sure that it would go higher if I unlocked it, but like I said, I'm going to keep it locked to 60 just for the capture of the video. It's just better overall. It's a smoother presentation. I'll have some other videos throughout the weekend where we do some benchmarks, and I'll probably compare it against the 7900 XTX to see how that's performing in this game. But overall, I'm impressed with the performance. It's been pretty good, man. Like a few little hitches on the cutscene there, but apart from that, it's been pretty smooth. Even when we get the drops, it's not stuttering. It's overall in great shape. And considering how some of the releases were this year, it's good to see this game coming out in good condition, man. That's for sure. And it's amazing how many good games we've had this year. It's insane. Another game to add to the Game of the Year list. It's just a stunning year. I've been gaming for a lot of years, and I don't ever remember a year so stacked with so many good games. And this game in particular is pushing the boundaries of what is capable in video games. And if you're not impressed by this game, then I don't know what you guys are looking for, because from a graphical standpoint, this is one of the best looking games I've ever seen in my life. Like look at the light cutting through the fog there. Like it's just outstanding. So let's progress the story here. I'm gonna stop talking. I'll probably come back towards the end and just wrap it up with my final thoughts.
Nice to meet you, Sheriff. I'm set for coffee.
You know, I wouldn't say no to another.
I'm Agent Saga Anderson. This is Agent Alex Casey.
Tim Brinker. And let me just say, I'm happy you two are here. Frankly, we could use the help.
Your deputies said you had a couple of witnesses here.
They made them sound like suspects.
Mulligan and Thornton are still on about that? No, the Bookers don't strike me as the murdering type, but you can decide for yourselves. They're just inside having coffee and pie to calm their nerves.
I'll see what they have to say. Casey, you compare notes with the sheriff.
Take your time. We've looked through the case files you sent over, Sheriff. Have you had many people besides the known victims go missing?
Let's just take a moment to admire the lighting here. Like, look at that right there, coming through the side of the glass there. This is all accurate. All the light bounces are accurate, and the quality of them. We don't have any type of dithering. We don't have any type of noise. It's just fantastic. And I know I'm kind of nerding out here looking at this diner, but just the level of detail and accuracy of light it's something to behold.
How can you be so calm?
Corpses are part of the job. Can't dwell on it too much.
I need a tool to get this open. Excuse me. I'm Agent Saga Anderson. Are you the Bookers?
That's us. I'm Tammy, and he's Ed.
Hello, officer.
Just Saga is fine, Ed.
So, are we being charged with anything? Because if not, we'd love to get back to our hotel and decompress after what we saw. Take a bath, scream into pillows, that kind of thing.
We're not charging you. I just have a few questions. Nothing to stress about, okay? What were you doing at Cauldron Lake last night?
I'm a writer. True crime. We're here from New York, doing some research on a famous novelist, Alan Wake, who went missing here. I was down at the lake, getting some details. Perfectly legal.
So what did you see in the woods?
This naked dude came out of the lake, and he was acting crazy, shouting weird shit at us. He must have been on something.
Unless skinny dipping at dawn is a thing around here.
Then we heard shooting. We ran into these psychos in deer masks. They were tearing into the naked guy with knives, like some kind of satanic cult. And then we bolted and called the cops.
What makes you say it was a cult?
The masks and knives aren't enough.
They were shouting, "Cult of the tree, the cult of the tree, cult of the tree." Oh, and then we found out. The whole thing was terrifying. That's all.
The cult of the tree. What aren't the Bookers telling me?
I found their necklace. The symbol is 2 triangles.
The cult wants their spruce tree bag, Tammy.
Finders keepers, Ed. My publisher will want this on the cover.
Tammy found something. A necklace belonging to one of the cultists. The Bookers were at Cauldron Lake. Why?
The fence was built to hide what's there. They say the rider fell in the lake.
Private party. No trespassing.
My book has questions. Past the bolt cutters.
They broke in for the sake of Tammy's book. Nothing to do with a murder. They were telling the truth. So you found something there, right? A necklace these cultists may have dropped.
Okay. Wow. How did you put that together?
It's evidence. You need to hand it over.
Told you not to keep that thing, Timmy.
Thanks. This could prove to be helpful. Do me a favor. Stick around town for now in case we have any more questions.
Like we'd even dream of missing dear Fez.
Oh, God. Saga! Saga Anderson. As I live and breathe. I thought we'd never see you back here after that awful, awful thing happened to your baby girl. How are you? I'm sorry. Who are you? I don't know what you're talking about. It's me, silly. Rose. You know me.
I don't think I do. And what horrible thing happened to my baby girl?
She drowned. Your daughter. That's so weird you don't remember.
How do you know I have a daughter?
Oh, I know what this is. You're blocking out your traumatic memories. Happens on TV all the time.
No. You're mistaking me for someone else.
If you say so.
Yeah, that was creepy. It's probably a prelude of something that's going to happen. Because remember, Alan Wake, he's already written all this stuff, right?
All
if
set.
you've played
My guys
the
have Nightingale
first
in the morgue
game.
If you're ready to go take a look.
Let's go. Well, Casey, I got a lead. Looks like we're dealing with a cult. The cult of the tree.
A murder cult. Fuck.
Have you heard of this cult of the tree, Sheriff?
Only the urban legend. If you're in the woods at night, the cult will get you. That sort of thing.
We're not gonna find out you're the Grand Wizard or something, are we?
I played some D&D back in the day. Wizard was always my favorite class.
Morning, Sheriff. Looks like you have some guests.
Ah, morning, Ted. Yeah, real important guests. Deerfest. Always draws a crowd, right?
Too true. More the merrier. Have a good one, Sheriff.
Yeah, I just enjoy the story beats, man. I enjoy the pace of it.
Waitress from the diner.
Rose? Yeah, she's a bit of a space case. Always has been. Why? What'd she do now?
She kept saying that my daughter drowned. She even knew my name. It was all very weird.
Rose has a talent for saying the weirdest thing possible, but it's best not to take it personal.
Just look at the materials. Look at her pants, her jacket, the flashlight. Like,
Corpse is downstairs ready to go.
the materials are just excellent in this game, man.
I'd like to take a closer look as soon as possible. Lead the way, Sheriff.
This is the Bright Falls Sheriff Station.
Yep.
Anything you need?
Just here to pay my ticket.
Let us know.
We appreciate the support, Sheriff.
My money.
Have a nice day.
I'd like to show you guys more action-orientated scenes, but I'm having a blast playing this game and getting into the story, so I think you guys should get a good general idea if you're going to like this game or not by watching this gameplay.
I'm qualified to perform examinations. Yes.
And hopefully before we end up this stream, we can have a few action sequences. But I wouldn't be worried about action, guys. This game definitely has action, but we're at the beginning of the game, so it's also story-driven, so it has to kind of ramp up.
Okay. Let's take a look at our patient. I'll start with the external inspection before performing the internal.
Jeez. That is like so graphic and grotesque.
They did leave something inside his chest. The body shows signs of being submerged in water post-mortem. It doesn't add up. This looks like text. A tattoo?
Nightingale didn't strike me as a tattoo guy. Defensive wounds. He put up a fight.
There's writing on here. Can't make it out.
Writing? How'd they manage that?
Time to see what Nightingale's body can tell us. Doesn't look right. Text is smudged. Looks inverted. Heart can't have been marked before removal. There's definitely something in his chest. Did the killers leave it there? It's the same type of page we found at Cauldron Lake.
Nightingale hunted Saga. Didn't see her. The Taken could not see into bright light. Light hurt them, made them vulnerable. Nightingale had no heart, but here he was, killing.
Someone's created a fucked up fantasy about us.
Hey, hold on. We found these kinds of pages. I didn't think they were relevant to this case. I have them right here. No, wait.
Sheriff?
What the hell? Show me the clicker.
Didn't see her. Could not see into bright light.
I'll make you pay.
He's coming. No weapon. The page said to get into the light. He can't see me in the light. My gun's out in the hall. Gotta get it back. Go!
Get out of my house.
Vanished.
Well, I think this is probably a good place to end this video. So you got a good idea. I don't know, we played maybe the first hour of the game. So if you don't like the game, you're probably not going to like it. But I think it's a fantastic game. I like the pace. I can tell it's going to be scary. I can tell that the action's going to be varied. And I'm just excited for this game. So you guys let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this game. Were you impressed with the performance on the RTX 4090? Are you impressed with the performance of this game on the consoles? Are you playing on the PlayStation 5? Are you playing on the Xbox Series X? Are you playing it on the PC? Let me know your experience in the comment section down below. I'll have some more content regarding this game over the weekend. I'll try to put up an HDR capture of the game, as well as a comparison of the 7900 XTX versus the RTX 4090 to see how the performance varies on these different GPUs. If you missed the beginning of this video, I did talk about the performance on the Xbox Series X as well as the PlayStation 5, so just go back to the beginning of the video and you'll be able to hear my take on that. I do expect over the weekend that we'll get more information on the performance of this title, I should say, on the next generation consoles. From my initial impression, both of them appear to be giving the same image quality. The Xbox Series X has slightly better performance. I'm gonna have to really take a look at that game to see the image quality and compare it, but it does appear initially that the PlayStation 5 is giving a very similar, if not same, image quality as the Xbox Series X, which is really telling, as the Xbox Series X has mesh shaders and the PlayStation 5 has primitive shaders, but it appears that the primitive shaders on the PlayStation 5 are handling this game without any issues. Anyways, like I usually say, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on the next one.